Okay, Survivor Series 2015. Just finished watching it about 20 or so minutes ago. Didn't see it live. Obviously, I've stated this many times before. I have to watch the rebroadcasts. Anyway, hopefully this time I won't eject the SD card while I'm still recording, so I don't have to reshoot everything again. Not here to relive that. Anyway, want to mention a couple of things during the kickoff show. First off, there was an interview between Byron Saxton and Roman Reigns, and afterwards, Byron Saxton talked about how Roman Reigns turned down Triple H's offer for the easy buy into the finals, and and Roman Reigns wanted to earn the championship, and then he brought up, Roman Reigns' cousin, The Rock, won the championship at Survivor Series for the first time. Neglected to mention that The Rock got it because Vince McMahon gave it to him. That and they did the Charlotte Paige vignette, and conveniently enough, they edited out any mention of Paige using Reed Flair. I guess they realized that horrible mistake. Although later during the match, and I don't think they mentioned it overtly, but both Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler made sort of a reference like Paige's actions were quote reprehensible and offensive. So yeah, make of that what you will. Anyway, on to the matches. We did have a match during the kickoff show, a traditional Survivor Series match. This had Miz, Bo Dallas, Stardust, and the Ascension taking on Neville, the Dudleys, Titus O'Neil, and Goldust for the first time in about 9 months, because I think the last time he showed up was Fastlane, unless it was the Raw after Fastlane. I'm not going to go through every move in this match of the two Survivor Series matches, just because if we do, we'll be here all night. So, but Stardust immediately flipped out at the sight of Goldust was going bonkers. Stardust and Goldust did start the match, but immediately Stardust tagged in Victor from the Ascension. Goldust hit him with a power slam and eliminated Victor. Then Bubba Ray eliminated Connor from the Ascension. After that, Miz eliminated Neville. What happened was, I think Neville was going after Stardust, and then Bo Dallas blind tagged in and hit the running Bodog, and then Miz blind tagged in and hit the skull crushing finale and eliminated Neville. Almost immediately after that, though, Goldust eliminated the Miz. Then Titus O'Neil eliminated Bo Dallas, and then the Dudleys hit the 3D on Stardust to eliminate him. And it wasn't a bad match. Pretty short for a traditional Survivor Series match, but you got to feel for Neville. He was the only one. He was the only one of the baby faces eliminated. Anyway, on to the show proper, and we start off with the first of the WWE Championship Tournament semifinals: Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio kind of took it to Reigns really early on. He tossed Reigns out of the ring and threw him into the barricade. At another point, Del Rio hit a Shining Wizard on Reigns in the corner of the ring, knocking Reigns out of the ring again. Then they cut into the back, and Triple H was watching with great interest the match. And Reigns eventually rallied. He hit a drive-by on Del Rio, and then tossed Del Rio into the announcer's table. Del Rio countered a Superman punch into a backstabber for a 2 count. Let's see, Reigns countered a super kick into a Samoan drop and got a 2 count. Reigns dodged. Del Rio set up Reigns for his double stomp finisher that he'd been using for the past few matches, and Reigns dodged out of that. He managed to hit the Superman punch, only got a 2 count. Reigns went for a spear, but Del Rio super kicked Reigns, got a 2 count. Eventually, Reigns would hit the spear, get the 3, advance to the final. No real shock there. Okay, and that leads us into the next match, which is the second semifinal between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. Early on, Kevin Owens just began tossing Ambrose. He tossed Ambrose into the corner. Ambrose did manage to come back and had a big clothesline, taking them both out of the ring. Owens would later hit the cannonball and got a 2 count. Owens hit a reverse fireman's neck breaker and got a 2 count. Again, we cut to the back to see Triple H looking on at the match with great interest. Owens went for his moonsault but missed. Ambrose followed it up with an elbow drop, got a 2 count. Owens hit a cradle driver from the top rope for a 2 count. Owens countered an Ambrose suicide dive by body slamming him onto the table, but eventually Ambrose and Owens got back into the ring. Owens twice went for the pop-up powerbomb. The second time, Reigns, why am I doing this? Ambrose countered with the dirty deeds, got the 3 count. Not really a shock here. I kind of sensed that they were going to do a Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose final. And that came to fruition. Excuse me. Okay, our next match is another traditional Survivor Series match. And, well, the only other traditional Survivor Series match. We have Ryback, the Lucha Dragons, and the Usos taking on New Day, Sheamus, and Wade Barrett. Funny thing about it, I know a lot of people wanted to see Cesaro in this match, but I guess that just didn't happen. Bit of a note during the intro. The New Day came out. They're doing their. All the heels came out together. New Day, Barrett, and Sheamus, and New Day was doing their shtick, and Sheamus asked if he could speak on the mic, and they said sure. They gave him, and Sheamus made a mention about getting jiggy with it, and everyone, including Barrett, stared at him. It's like, what the hell? Nobody says jiggy anymore. And with that, they all kind of just angrily stomped the ring after that. Like I said, I'm not really going to go over everything that happens in these matches, because this one was much longer. But Wade Barrett was the first one eliminated. He was eliminated by Sin Cara. After that, Xavier Rhodes eliminated Jimmy Uso. Then Sheamus eliminated Sin Cara. Then Jey Uso eliminated Big E. And this upset both Xavier Woods and Kofi to the point that they basically took Big E to the back. They weren't even counted out. So that was the weird thing. They just went to the back. And it's like, okay, I guess they were counted out. Which just left Sheamus and eventually basically all three, Jey Uso, Kalisto, and Ryback all basically triple teamed Sheamus. Ryback hit him with shell shock, pinned him, eliminated Sheamus. And again, very weird because, again, the babyface team won in the previous Classic Survivor Series match. Usually it's, one face team and one heel team wins. Didn't happen again. That was weird. Excuse me again. That brings us to our next match, which is the Divas Championship match, Charlotte versus Paige. Again, the opening vignette did not feature any mentioning of Reid Flair's name. Must have learned from that mistake. Though, again, it seemed the announcers kind of alluded to it. I can't remember if they overtly stated it, but yeah, they sort of alluded to it. Both Cole and Jerry Lawler kind of said Paige went a little too far with some of the things she said, and that was kind of it. Anyway, funny thing is, they're in Atlanta, which, that's WCW territory, that's Ric Flair country, but Charlotte did not get a very pro-Charlotte reaction. In fact, I'd say both women got very mixed reactions. Paige, I think, got a bit more mixture of boos and cheers. Charlotte got more boos. I'm guessing that Charlotte... yeah. I don't know if that means maybe at some point they might turn Charlotte heel and turn Paige back to face, which could happen. But for now, it doesn't seem to be the case. Right early on, Paige tossed Charlotte into the ring post. They fell out of the ring. But Charlotte would rally back, try to lock on the figure eight, but Paige would counter it into a small package for a 2. Eventually, they fought back outside the ring again, and Charlotte hit a big. She had the electric chair that went into the facebuster and drove Paige's face into the ring apron. They got back into the ring and Charlotte locked Paige in a figure 4 head scissors. Paige then managed to rally back and lock on a sort of modified bow and arrow hold. Charlotte rallied, hit a spear and the natural selection. They eventually fought outside the ring again. Charlotte started to lock on a figure 4, didn't quite stretch into the figure 8. Paige managed to roll both of them out of the ring. They were fighting on the outside of the ring. Looked like Paige managed to incapacitate Charlotte enough. Paige got up on the ring barricade, was kind of playing to the crowd. A couple of the guys were trying to ask for a high five. And Charlotte got up on the ring barricade and speared very loosely, Paige off of it. Eventually rolled Paige back into the ring, locked on the figure 8, and Paige tapped out. Again, I know Charlotte is... both these women are capable of a much, much better match than what they got. Maybe it's just the allotted time they had, but yeah. And they probably should not set up any outside spears if they can't actually execute a proper spear. Anyway, after that we have Tyler Breeze versus Dolph Ziggler. And Dolph came out with a new set of tights and a new leather vest with studs all over it. And this weird makeup, and something about this makeup just looked really, really familiar. And that's when I realized what Dolph looked like, what Dolph Ziggler now looked like. He looked like Helen Slater in The Legend of Billie Jean. Yeah. Anyway, early on, this was a pretty quick match. Ziggler clotheslined Breeze out of the ring. But Breeze would rally and he hit Ziggler with a slingshot into the second rope. Breeze locked on a half crab. Ziggler got to the ropes. Ziggler kind of started to rally, went for a famouser. Breeze countered that into a roll-up. Eventually the two kind of fought a little bit outside of the ring. Breeze was on the apron. He hit a sharp drop kick right into Dolph's knee and followed that up with an unprettier for the victory. Good for Tyler Breeze. Good to see him get a kind of a big victory off the bat now that he's up on the full-time roster. Short match, but sweet. And this is where the match layout got a little confusing because I thought they would probably move that match second from the main event because second from the main event we have the tag team of the Brothers of Destruction taking on the Wyatt family. Anyway, as I said before, the next match was the Brothers of Destruction taking on the Wyatt family, and I thought maybe that would actually come after the Divas match, and then they would move the Ziggler-Breeze match into that before the finals of the tournament. I did not expect the Brothers of Destruction match to be the main event. It wouldn't feel right to have the tournament final, crown a world champion, and then have a tag matches. Anyway, right away, all the Wyatt family came down to the ring, and then as Kane and Undertaker entered, Roman Reigns Why do I keep putting Roman Reigns in everything? Sorry. Eric Rowan ran into the ring and was immediately chokeslammed by both Taker and Kane. With that, the proper match started with Bray and Harper actually being into it. Harper entered the ring. He managed to counter an old-school elbow attempt to tag in Bray. Eventually, Bray tagged Harper back in, and the old-school elbow was applied. Excuse me. Eventually, tags in Bray. Yep. Sorry. Eventually, Braun Strowman got involved. He got Kane. He tossed him over the announcer's table, and the Wyatt family began to rally back and kind of dominate the match. But eventually, Kane would get the hot tag to Taker. Taker goes after Harper. Wyatt goes back into the ring. He hits Taker with the Sister Abigail. But gets a 2 count because Kane breaks up the pin. Eventually, as they're both Wyatt and Harper were kind of out in the ring. Strowman was trying to interject himself back in the match. The Brothers of Destruction took him, double chokeslammed him through an announce table. They got back into the match, hit Wyatt and Harper with choke slams, and then Taker hit a tombstone on Harper for the 3 count. And then afterwards, Taker saluted the crowd in the ring, and they did the ascending up the ramp with the fist raising. Excuse me. And that brings us to the final match, the WWE Championship Final. Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. Starting things off, Reigns opened right off with a T-bone suplex. Ambrose clotheslined Reigns out of the ring. Ambrose eventually hit a missile dropkick. I think it was just a 1 count. I don't think it was a 2. Reigns then followed it up with a sit-down powerbomb for a 2 count. Ambrose tried to do a sunset flip powerbomb from the top rope. Missed. Actually, missed it by a mile. But he then, Ambrose climbed up for a cross-body attempt as Reigns got up to his feet. Reigns countered with a Superman punch, only got a 2 count. Reigns hit a spear, only got a 2 count. Reigns went for another spear. Ambrose dodged it. Reigns hit the ring post. He comes off the ring post. Ambrose hits the Dirty Deeds, gets only a 2 count. Ambrose then went for his rebound clothesline. Reigns managed to drill him with the spear and get the 3 count. And that's when I knew something was up, because it was a darn quick match for a final. But, they started celebrating. Confetti was pouring down from the ceiling. Ambrose and Reigns embraced each other. Ambrose kind of left to the ring to let Reigns celebrate. At this point, Triple H made his way down to the ring, offered a handshake to Reigns. Well, actually, first he raised Roman's arm, said, okay, you want it fair and square. Offered a handshake. Reigns looked at him, looked back to the crowd. Reigns spears Triple H and starts kind of taunting him as he gets up. And at that point, Sheamus hits the ring. That's like, okay, yeah, with how short that final match was, you knew that there was probably going to be a cash-in. And that's what happened. Sheamus hit the ring, hit Reigns with a brogue kick, cashes in his Money in the Bank, covers Reigns, only gets a 2 count. They get back up. Reigns starts to go for his spear. Sheamus hits a second brogue kick, knocks him out, covers him. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus is now World Heavyweight Champion. And then Triple H got up and raised Sheamus's hand, shook his hand, and Sheamus celebrated. He and Sheamus went back up the ramp. Reigns just sat in the ring, despondent. Still piles of confetti everywhere. And they're all like, it happened again. He had it, and it was ripped away from him. And it made me think. I've heard so much about Sheamus's various title reigns, so they all seemed kind of, well, not so much as Intercontinental or U.S. title reigns, but as world title reigns. They all seemed fluky. Yeah, exactly. They're all flukes. He, his first one was really a fluke, where he was facing John Cena, and Cena, it was a tables match, and Cena accidentally threw himself through a table. The second one came after a failed 4-way match, when Cena was beaten up by the Nexus. The third one came when after he won the Rumble, which he shouldn't have won. It was supposed to be Chris Jericho, because everyone knew Chris Jericho was going to win it. They said, no, Sheamus wins it this year. And he beats Daniel Bryan in like 20 seconds because Bryan was busy making out with AJ. Let me think. Do you have another one after that? It escapes me for the moment if he had another one after that. But yeah, even then, he wins the Money in the Bank. Even though Roman Reigns was supposed to win, everyone thought, excuse me. Again, he won Money in the Bank. Even though Roman Reigns won it was supposed to win Money in the Bank. Everyone had, and now he wins the World Championship right after Roman Reigns wins the World Championship, which everyone thought was going to happen anyway. Also, sadly, we are not going to get Michael Cole replaced with the fish tank. Anyway, show overall, the tournament was actually pretty good. as much as I love the original Survivor Series matches, I think it would have been okay if maybe they had actually had a full proper tournament and maybe just had 2 Survivor Series matches interchanged and possibly even the Divas Championship. Other than that, yeah, like I said, the Divas Championship match was forgettable. Well, it was nice to see Tyler Breeze win. That match wasn't spectacular. Kane and The Undertaker versus the Wyatts was all right. You know, again, maybe it would have been better if the Wyatts had won, but yeah, it was a very pedestrian match. Like I said, the tournament matches were actually pretty good. The ending with Sheamus cashing in, yeah. I'm just going to have to give this one probably a C. It was a very average show. Let's see. Well, don't have to put up any videos for at least a couple of weeks, and you know, that'll be the random trade review on Space Ghost. Let's see, after that, next wrestling one will be TLC, and that's on the 13th. I mean, we'll say this, one last thing. The promo for TLC that has the 16-bit Roman Reigns video game, running around, climbing ladders, throwing guys through tables, and swinging a chair as a weapon was that. Say what you will, that was a great promo. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, yeah, so it'll be TLC, that's on the 13th. NXT TakeOver is on the 16th. Don't know if I'm going to have any other videos between Space Ghost and, well, this and Space Ghost and the wrestling shows, but who knows? Maybe something will come up. See you next time.